when Obama bailed out a banking institution using $1.7 trillion of taxpayer money. Congress, not being bankers, were not familiar with writing terms for loans. Using their combined wisdom and common sense, these bozos decided, who better to write the terms than a bank? These executives sitting there with glazed-over eyes and mouths open, looking like they just hit the lottery, still digesting what they just heard, took this $1.7 trillion gift and said they would write the terms later. The funds were released. A month or so later, Congress was surprised to see the foreclosure rate increasing instead of lowering. To find out how this can happen, they asked the Federal Reserve and were not getting answers. They called a congressional inquiry to convene with the chairman, Alan Greenspan. The inquiry was broadcast on C-SPAN, no thanks to Obama. And it was just getting started when my channel surfing landed on it. Being the conservative I am, I decided to watch the gears of government turn. I remember thinking, look at the arrogant, cocky smirk on Greenspan's face. What's up with that? Congress now all seated, at least the ones that were in Washington. About half of them, and all with a list of pointed questions, looking confident as hell. They were getting answers or heads were gonna roll. I'm thinking, yet Greenspan and his smirk won't last for long. He is playing with the big boys now. All primed and ready to dish out a plate of congressional hardball on this elusive Federal Reserve chairman. No more excuses, faxes and confusing emails. Time's up. There they all were, 50 or so of the best elected officials each state had to offer. I thought, if Greenspan doesn't explain now where the money went, his butt will be sent to Leavenworth. The inquiry gets underway. The first congressman looks right at him, and flat out asks, "Pass me the list of banks receiving the $1.7 trillion of taxpayer money. I also want the list showing how much each bank received, and how the amounts were determined." Down he went. The great American congressional turkey shoot was now underway. The room went silent. Another stupid enough to ask almost the exact same question pops up. Even I knew the outcome before it happened. Undeterred, up pops another. Down he went. In what appeared now to be just a show of solidarity, they all started making fools of themselves. Up pops another. Then another would pop up. Then another. Could not believe these idiots were asking virtually the same question as the previous one. Thinking Greenspan can shoot them down, but not me, I'm a two-term congressman. Like a bunch of morons, they popped up one after another. Finally, one of them tried to trick the answer out of him, using a long-winded, confusing, beat-around-the-bush tactical question to slip him up. Popped up, down he went. Then an older four-termer decided he had seen enough, sounding like John Wayne, popped up and said, "Enough is enough, hand over the information, Pilgrim." No. No go. He went down hard. The great American congressional turkey shoot was well underway. Down they all went. By now I was laughing so hard I was seeing a plume of feathers as each one of them went down. There they all sat with their mouths open and chins on the desk. Humbled. It wasn't until this point, when they all just realized they were scammed, they left the fox in charge of the henhouse and never cared enough to even realize what they had just let the country get scammed out of. Now, out of frustration and rage for making total fools out of them, like it's a surprise to the citizens, another would pop up demanding the information. Down he went. It didn't matter any longer how foolish they looked. They had to get this information because they were looking really stupid. Another would pop up down. How can this be? This was the U.S. Congress. Another goes down. Then a few latecomers would show up. Ask the one next to him why they didn't have any answers. You could see the reply from their hand gestures. It's because we're not asking the right question. Go ahead, ask him. These blood-sucking idiots were setting each other up. There is no honor among thieves. With all the confidence when the meeting started, thinking the others just were not asking the right questions. They pop up, down they went. Our elected idiots just got humbled. Every last one of them. Shot down by a finance-savvy, educated, experienced banker acting as the Red Baron. He was a product of our free market the Constitution created. I knew at that time this document was written by a group of the most intelligent people ever assembled in one place. All of them can outwit any one of these congressional bozos combined. Greenspan and the private banks were offered to write the terms, and they did. The banks, instead of using this money to help homeowners, they decided to keep the money, resulting in the loss of my house. Who was Congress kidding? The banks now had money. They're not lending it to the same risky borrowers Obama pressured them to lend to when he was a ranking official with the corrupt Acorn Committee. No way. Most of it went for executive bonuses and whatever they wanted. Hell, they wrote their own terms. They don't have to show anyone where or who got the money. Hell, they don't even have to repay it. It was a gift from the ones losing their homes and the most corrupt administration in history. Hell, just out of arrogance they stepped up the foreclosure process, throwing more Americans out of their overpriced homes. Congress never even reviewed the terms before handing over our money. I was now in shock learning the whole story. This was the biggest taxpayer scam in U.S. history, if not the world. How these idiots could be that stupid to let Greenspan humble the entire lot of these idiots by simply replying to each and every one's question with, "I am not required to disclose this information," as it was not a requirement in the terms of the loan. That was it. There wasn't a damn thing they could do about it. They should all be in jail. Aesop's fable just took out the U.S. Congress when warning not to put the fox in charge of the hen house. Our elected officials were just humbled for allowing what a fifth grader wouldn't let get by.